Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Breath of Fresh Air Shorty with your host, Charles Taylor. I am here to talk about a few of the topics that had happened over the weekend. But before I get started on the sports spectrum, I wanted to send my thoughts and prayers to the people down I 45 in the Houston area. Growing up in this state, in San Antonio, and living here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I understand the rivaling that goes on between the cities. Houston hates Dallas Fort Worth and San Antonio. Dallas Fort Worth hates Houston and San Antonio. San Antonio hates Houston and Dallas Fort Worth. So in the sports realm of things, it's big time rivalries between the cities in this state. But when something like what's going on in Houston happens with the catastrophic flooding that has taken place from Hurricane Harvey, or now Tropical Storm Harvey, dumping buckets of rain, 45 inches in some of these spots down there, you start to see the good in people, and the other cities have the back of the one that's going through the tragic event. And what you're seeing is a lot of people trying to help, trying to rescue, donating money, food, water, whatever it could be to help out with the rescue efforts that are taking place in the Houston area right now. So I just wanted to take this time to, again, send my thoughts and prayers with them. I've talked to a few of the people I know who are from Houston, who have family down there. From what I know, their family, they told me their family is doing okay and they're doing okay. So it's good to hear, but there are a lot of people down there who just simply aren't okay. So if they can get the help, that would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure, by those people. So again, my thoughts and prayers go out to the people down I-45 in the Houston area. And if there's one thing I know about the city of Houston, they will bounce back from this and they will be stronger than ever. With that, I'm going to try to make the difficult pivot from real life to the sports spectrum. And I wanted to start off with the NFL and the dress rehearsal part of the preseason. There were some significant injuries that happened. You saw the New England Patriots lose Julian Edelman, the wide receiver, to a torn ACL. He's gone for the season. The Kansas City Chiefs lost running back Spencer Ware for the season with a knee injury. We saw the Chicago Bears player Cameron Meredith go down, and the Dallas Cowboys lost Anthony Hitchens, their starting linebacker. But at least for him, it doesn't look like it would be a season-ending injury. I wanted to talk about Julian Edelman's injury specifically because of the team he plays for. He plays for the New England Patriots. And on pretty much any other team, losing a guy who had the production Julian Edelman had would be a big time blow to absorb for any other team. But for the New England Patriots, I just don't feel that way. I feel like they will still be productive. They will still continue to have this machine roll, and they will still probably be 13-3 instead of 14-2. That's just what I see from them. Remember, this is a team who lost Tom Brady. For all of the 2008 season, and they went 11-5 in that season with Matt Castle playing quarterback. So I think New England will be fine. Julian Edelman, I don't want to sound like I'm taking away from his value, but because it's New England we're talking about, they will find somebody to pick up the slack and have the production Edelman was providing to the team, or at least come close to providing. Danny Amendola is still on the team. You picked up Brandon Cooks. You still have Rob Gronkowski at tight end. Brandon Cooks, of course, is the receiver from the New Orleans Saints. And they have all these running backs still. They have Deion Lewis. They have James White. They will probably use them to flex them out to the slot and run a lot of the same routes Julian Edelman was running. So New England will keep this ball rolling because they have Bill Belichick, and they are the best team in the league in planning out things game by game by game. They are the one team that just truly worries about that opponent, depending on who the opponent is week after week. A lot of teams, they just kind of have that identity that they want to establish. And if they don't have that identity established, there's going to be a little bit of a drop off in how they are getting things done. With New England, they could come out and throw the ball with Tom Brady 45, 50 times. And then the next week, they're running the ball down your throat. It just depends on who they are playing that week. And because they are able to adjust on the fly, New England always seems to find a way. So it's a big time injury for Julian Edelman, but New England, I still feel like they will be okay. Another situation that happened over the weekend is stemming from the trade in the NBA between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. So last week, it was reported the Cavaliers were going to trade Kyrie Irving, who, of course, has been disgruntled, wanted out of Cleveland because he didn't want to play with LeBron James anymore. He was going to Boston in exchange for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Zizix, I think is the name of the center, and the first round draft pick Boston had from a previous trade with the garbage Brooklyn Nets. It has come out during the weekend. Cleveland is upset, or I guess maybe not upset, but they are worried. They're worried about the status of Isaiah Thomas's hip. He had a hip injury during their playoff run, and I guess when they did the physical, it didn't look good. It drew some concerns. So those concerns have Cleveland looking for additional assets. And Boston is saying, look, we were upfront about Isaiah Thomas already. So what you knew is what we knew. And Cleveland wants other people like Jason Tatum, their number one draft choice, or Jaylen Brown, the young guy they picked up, I think, last year or the year before in the draft. Boston's probably not going to do that, and that's probably not going to happen. So either the trade will be voided out or it's going to go through as is. Boston, they're feeling like they gave up enough as it was. I hope Isaiah Thomas, for his sake, he is healthy. He comes back because he is a dynamic player. And I also want to see Kyrie Irving get a shot at LeBron James and the Cavs, potentially in the Eastern Conference Finals again. I would love to see that. So I really do hope, for my own selfish reasons, this trade does go through. And finally, there was a big fight over the weekend. Might have heard about it. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. I remember I said last week, I had no interest in this fight. I thought it was a money grab. I thought it was a big publicity stunt. But if I had a friend who was showing the fight, I would entertain going and watch it. Well, that actually happened. I had a friend who was showing the fight, and I went down there to catch the fight. And to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised by the fight. I didn't have high expectations for it, but looking at how the fight went down, it was a pretty entertaining fight. Conor McGregor did okay. I thought he won the first 3 rounds of the fight. Mayweather started turning everything around from the 4th round on, and he actually finished the fight in the 10th round. That right there is a ultimate bonus for anybody who has watched a lot of Floyd Mayweather fights. He's normally just really technical and he'll win the fight in a decision. But in this one, he came out and he did his thing and finished the fight. Much credit there. And much credit to McGregor for showing he had a pretty decent boxing game. So I have to give him credit there as well. But ultimately, this was a good fight. I was pleasantly surprised by the fight. And this opens up a lot of opportunities down the line for boxing and MMA to maybe coexist, maybe have a few fights on a card together. Of course, Conor McGregor brings a big following, so that helped out as well. And we know what an attraction Floyd Mayweather is. I don't think he's retired yet. I know he said that he was done after this fight, but the potential of another $150 million, $200 million payday I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back for that. But overall, I was pleased with the fight, and I really have no complaints. I thought the fight was pretty good. Well, that will take care of this, Shorty. Keep in mind, we have the college football preview special coming up, and my boy Patrick Brackett said he'll be back in the fold with me. So it'll be good to have him back in the camp to talk some college football and get everybody ready for the upcoming season. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Google Plus, and we will see you later on this week. Take care, and once again, my thoughts and prayers are with the people down in Houston.